On Off the Leash Podcasts, and he sent his speech through, which I haven't seen, but asked if someone wouldn't mind reading it. So if you can pretend that I'm Dominic Dyer and give the cheers in the right place when I stumble over some of the pronunciations, that would be really great. Dominic's brilliant at that whole "is this a good idea? No" thing, but I'm really not very good at that. So I am just going to read this out. So apologies from Dom Dyer. This is what he wanted to say. I know he's been working on this for a very long time. We've talked about it numerous times in podcasts and things. So I know he is really very upset that he couldn't make it today, but it was for very good reasons. So I will read out what he said. The brutal slaughter of over 1,400 white-sided dolphins on the Faroe Islands in September has triggered huge anger and revulsion around the world, and has once again brought global attention to the long and bloody history of whale and dolphin killing in this beautiful but isolated archipelago 200 miles to the northwest of Scotland. Although the European Union has a ban on the killing of whales and dolphins by its member states under an EU Council directive and the Berne Convention, this does not apply to the Faroe Islands as a self-governing country in the Kingdom of Denmark. The Faroe Islands is also not a member of the International Whaling Commission, and whale and dolphin hunts can be legally licensed by the Faroese government. I think at that point Dominic would say something like, "Isn't that a really crap thing to do?" We'd all go, "Yes."
Yeah! Hooray!
Thank you. In recent decades, several marine conservation organisations have engaged with the government and people of the Faroe Islands to end the whale and dolphin hunts. Public meetings and debates have been held. Studies have looked at the economic benefits of developing a whale watching industry, documentaries made and books published. Yet the brutal killing continues. Since becoming Prime Minister, Boris Johnson has made his opposition to whaling very clear. He has raised serious concerns with the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe on Japanese resumption of commercial whaling at the G7 summit in Biarritz in September 2019. In January 2021, he made a stand against the killing of a minke whale by Japanese fishermen in Taiji Cove, telling the Telegraph, "At a time when we are already seeing the tragic and irreversible destruction of our natural world, with the sea increasingly pumped full of plastics and climate change threatening entire ecosystems, it is more important than ever to take a stand against the cruel practice of whaling." Lord Goldsmith condemns the dolphin slaughter on the Faroe Islands, saying, "It is one of the most sickening spectacles I have ever seen." Dominic has started a government e-petition, I'm sure many of you will have seen it, calling for a suspension of the free trade agreement with the Faroe Islands until the whale and dolphin slaughter ends for good. That has reached 50,000 signatures in 3 weeks, so thank you to anyone who's signed that. You can find that online, of course. Part of the petition says, on the 13th of September, the Faroe Islands butchered over 1,400 white-sided dolphins in the largest single recorded slaughter of marine mammals in history. Despite this insane barbarism, over the past 12 months, the Faroe Islands have seen their trade with Britain increase by over 140%. Today, the Faroe Islands is selling over £350 million worth of fish and shellfish products every year to British consumers. And as a result, they are now becoming one of the richest island nations in Europe. It's off the back of a lot of dead fish, which is an appalling thing. If Boris Johnson is not willing to suspend the free trade agreement to stop this brutal slaughter of marine mammals 200 miles from our shores, his government's commitment to global wildlife protection will be seriously undermined. No whales and dolphins should be cruelly butchered in a sea of blood in the Faroe Islands to put cod and farmed salmon on our supermarket shelves. It is time we use trade sanctions to end this barbarism for good.
Yay!
Thank you, and that was on behalf of Dom Dyer, of course.